Okay, hello and welcome to Blueprints Behind Business. I'm your host, Brad Douglas, and today I'm joined by Daniel Nussbaum with the International MLS. Daniel, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure. Thanks for
So,
having me.
yeah, no, I'm excited to talk here this morning. Would you like to kick us off with a brief background about yourself and also the International MLS?
A brief background about myself. I grew up in Long Beach, New York. I was kind of a little bit different in that lost my mom when I was 8 and my dad when I was 18. I lived in 17 places in 9 years, put myself through school. Never got a scholarship to go to college. Never graduated. But that's because I skipped my last year and got accepted to the University of Pennsylvania Dental School. And I practiced 22 years in the Philly area. And then not wanting to live in the cold and not wanting to live in the gray and not wanting to really just be a dentist my whole life. I embarked upon a new journey.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about what the International MLS is specifically.
Well, it's a portal platform, lots of products, membership platform. We have more than 400,000 members, about 600,000 listings in more than 100 countries. We've just created a new homes developer agent platform, and so forth. And we partner with US MLSs and associations. And that's kind of what it is. It's an advertising platform, products. It's kind of innovative in certain ways.
Perfect. I appreciate that background. So, what kind of I know getting started in the past and giving a little bit of brief background there, but what inspired you to start your own business, and what really was the spark to get you going?
Well, I'll tell you the truth. The spark that got me going was one day I was a dentist in Philly, and it was about 10 degrees outside. And I walked outside in just a short sleeve shirt, and I stood there for a little bit. And I said, you know what? I can't do this the rest of my life. And there's more to me. So, it felt like it wasn't the best use of my brain and what have you. And I said, I've got to see what's out there for me. So I actually sold the practice and sold the home in Philly and the one at the Jersey Shore, and moved to California and started and become a licensed investment advisor. And then a market crashed pretty quickly after that. And then I thought maybe one day people might go online and look for homes. So I bought up hundreds and hundreds of realty.com domain names.
Okay.
And then I started a couple of local entities out in LA for what became my ex-wife. That became successful. I mean, we were showing homes, and I was doing the lead gen and showing homes to Shaka Khan, Peter Gallagher. I don't no reason to just name drop, but just to give you the idea. And then I said, that's not what I want to do either. Which
Yeah,
is okay, because I think that's part of the entrepreneurial journey
sure.
is really trying to find where you think you go. So, we got contacted by developers over in Costa Rica and Mexico, and how about promoting our projects? And I said, sure. But when you promote projects, who ends up bringing the buyers? It's always all the other agents, right? So next thing I knew, I had a project in Costa Rica and Mexico. One thing sort of led to another, and I said, the agents in Chicago, they're not going to put an ad unit on their site for all these different projects. So how about coming up with a functional ad unit that has all the projects? So it created this international search with these new home developments that any agent or broker in the world can have, and then things sort of morphed from there. And then we started sending out data feed overseas, and then people wanted to look for a new home, and they didn't buy one, and they bought a resale. And I said, oh my goodness, we made no money, but one thing sort of led to another. And the next thing I knew, we had about 150,000 listings, because what I did is I looked for somebody in Spain where that was, and she said to me, Daniel, your idea is really kind of smart. Will you promote my properties? Now, this is 2010. Okay, so this is before anybody in the United States was doing this, right? So I said, sure, how many you have? And she said, 5,100. And I said, excuse me? And
Wow.
she said, 5,100. But I said, okay, well, if I can send them out, I can get them, I figured it out. One thing sort of led to another. We ended up with about 130,000 listings. And a little company named Realtor.com reached out to me to collaborate when they were starting their international segment.
Mhm.
One thing sort of led to another. I always took the approach that I'm a smart guy and I'm going to figure it out. And I don't have to know where I'm going as I go through, make my way through the woods. I know I do want to come out on the other side and not be stuck in the woods, but that sort of thing.
That's some fantastic background. Very interesting. And, it seems like you've been there from the beginning and some of that side of it. You've been there both on the dental side and now with the International MLS. So you just mentioned kind of coming through the woods on the other side. Are there any kind of misconceptions about running a business, and how have you addressed those?
Well, I think people that are smart about business don't have these misconceptions, but for the people that have never started a business, they would have these misconceptions. It will always take longer and it will always cost more. That, as far as I'm concerned, they're the two rules of business. So, and then when you're looking to do a big project, you think, well, it's a great idea, blah, blah, blah. And then everybody's going to want to invest in it. It's not so easy to, raise money. I mean, we do have, I think, 38 shareholders or what have you, but it's a challenge. And the environments can change, from the economic environment can change, the industry environment can change. So, that sort of thing. And the misconception is this is the deal. When I was a dentist, I worked 25 hours a week. I gave that up so I could work 70 and doing my own company. So the misconception that you're just going to get started and then it's easy street, that's ridiculous.
Mhm.
And you get engrossed with it. But for me, I'd rather work 70 hours on something I love to do. Um, that's
Uh,
just my
it,
that's just
it's
my decision. Yeah, it's my decision.
fantastic insight there. I agree with you. As long as you love what you're doing, those hours don't matter too much. But um, so kind of, you've already given a ton of wisdom already, but if you think about any kind of valuable lesson or piece of advice that you wish you have known starting your entrepreneurial journey that would maybe help others out there. You gave a couple of great ones already with it's going to take longer, it's going to take more money, but any other advice?
Well, I think because people ask me why didn't I stay as a dentist when I started this and all, and I think the reality is if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you can't dive into the pool with one arm and one leg. You've got to go all in, and you got to make it so that you live it, breathe it, and et cetera. I mean, and because it's going to be a lot harder than you think, and a lot more involving, but if you work a ton at something you do, you really never work a day in your life. It's really different than having a job and not really liking what you do just because you get a paycheck.
Oh, great points. So how do you stay adaptable and open to change in really a lot of times a constantly changing business environment or landscape? Are there any strategies that you use to stay innovative?
Well, my background, having lost my parents and what have you, I've always been adaptable to change, right? So that just never fazed me, that kind of a thing. You do need to be adaptable to the changes in the business climate, competition, and so forth. But that's if you're not adaptable to change, and you're not adaptable to taking what you thought was your idea and veering off on these side roads and what have you, you're never going to get there. I mean, the story about how the successful person really had like multiple failures before he became successful. But it doesn't have to be like that. It can be where, you're just banging and you're trying, and that doesn't work, and then this works, and you can keep going. And really, I always had an expression. If you build what the market wants, terrific. If you tell the market what to do, they tell you where to go.
I love that. Yes. So, without giving too much away, could you offer a glimpse into your future plans or goals for your business?
Well, whether it's a sale or an IPO, if that's what you're talking about, but really, I love what I'm doing, and I really want to just keep building things within it. I want to really develop things that can bring value to the industry, and constantly looking to find low-cost solutions for the agents and the brokers, and so forth.
Fantastic. So to kind of wrap it up here, and there's so many good pieces of advice here, but is there anything else that you could offer an aspiring entrepreneur just getting started on their journey? One last piece of advice.
I would say it's like this. If this is what you want to do it. Because you know what? Michael Jordan had an expression: you miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Love it. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Daniel. This has been very insightful. I'm sure the community is going to love the background and the inspiration that you provided to everyone. To everyone watching, I look forward to seeing you in our next episode.